Keenan Shanholtz here, West Virginia Land and Home Realty, and today we're at 911 Blackburn Road in, I guess you could call this Purgitsville, West Virginia. This is the Ludwick farm, and this farm has been in this same family line since 1908. So it's about 117 years. So as you can see here, we got some friendly cows. The neighbor here has been running cattle on this property for 50 years basically, and would continue to do so if you wanted them to. But just look at the views you got from here. 238 acres. That's the old house over there. It's pretty much a tear down, but you're gonna notice you got an electric pole right there, so that's huge. Excuse me. There are just multiple building sites on this property. Whether you're looking for a farm, a recreational property, this ground is 100% usable. There is no waste to it. It lays great. You can see, we'll drive around here, but there's another little field up there that's got really good views, kind of looking back to the east. You'll notice here's a little hunting blind right behind me, obviously here on the crest of the hill, so you can see whatever crosses through here. But everything you see in this direction, you know, belongs to it. The property line's kind of right there behind the house like that, so we're kind of all the way like on the kind of northwest edge of the farm. But it's awful windy today, but I'm gonna try to show you my paper here. So I'm standing right here on this point. You'll see the house right there. But that's kind of a view of what it looks like. My map even cut off a little bit there, but it's kind of got like a little weird finger that goes up there like that. But you can see by the topo lines, it lays fantastic. Beautiful woods. You just don't see much stuff like this anymore. You know, you see something, you know, anything over 200 acres these days I consider to be pretty big. You know, and then you got something that's got a mix of fields and woods. You know, it's not just all woods. It's not some wooded mountainside you see somewhere that's basically hunting ground. You know, you come into the farm from right down there, and this property fronts on Blackburn Road. It's just a little gravel, state maintained road. You know, easy in, easy out of here, and part of the property goes on the other side of Blackburn Road. And I'll probably shoot a video maybe down there as well. But yeah, the cows they're pretty curious about me, but they come right up to the truck. Let me let you hit that view looking that way one time. I should be kind of looking south, basically southwest. The sun should set over here, kind of like over the house that direction, or maybe this way. But let's start riding around here and checking this place out. The clouds, I'm fighting the clouds today, but the location here, we're about 15 to 20 minutes from Romney, about 15 minutes from Moorefield, and about 20 minutes from Kaiser. So you're out here, certainly very private here. I mean, you're never gonna see a neighbor the way it's set up here. But you're close to, you know, all these small towns that are located around here. I mean, you got, you know, Moorefield and Kaiser are pretty big small towns for West Virginia, you know, with Walmarts and restaurants and car dealerships and that sort of thing. But we'll keep going here. Keenan Shanholtz here again, West Virginia Land and Home Realty, 911 Blackburn Road. I didn't make it very far from my first video clip. I'll show you where we're at here. I started right here, and I'm just here in this little finger of this field right now. But I gotta put something paperweight on here so my papers don't blow away here today. But like I said, we just started over there. You know, as you can see, I can get my truck around on this farm real easy. But check this out. Don't even need to talk, you know, when it comes to looking at that. The lay of the ground is so nice. I mean, there's a bunch of black walnuts in here. Of course, there's the big field out there. You can see the cows where I just come from. But we'll just keep tooling around here and I'll show you as we go. Keenan Shanholtz here again, West Virginia Land and Home Realty, 911 Blackburn Road. I'm really enjoying this today. So, found another little hunting blind here. It doesn't look like there's been a chainsaw in these woods for 100 years. I mean, the timber's not huge, but the woods are really pretty. You just see this stand of white oak right here. I've just tooled right along in my pickup. I mean, when I do my videos, sometimes I do a little preliminary recon, you know, before I do the video, but a lot of times you're seeing it just the way I see it for the first time. And that's kind of what we're doing today. But I'll show you here what we've done so far. So we started out here on the point there where that little hunting stand was. Come back, took my second video right there. I didn't stop here in this a nice field right in here, and there's like a cattle corral right there and everything. But I drove right through that field, and you could see the faint little line there. That's the road. And that's the little field I'm in here right now, you know, in this little hunting blind. You know, we're just on this big ridge in here. You know, and basically, you know, this little limb's falling in the way. I can move out of the way. And you can see there's a nice path that goes right out across this, you know, ridge top out through here. And, you know, what this does, it drops off. It just kind of, we're just keep going out this ridge, and it kind of just goes off a point, and you'll hit the property line down there. It's impossible to, you know, just about anywhere you're at on here, you're going to have a nice view. I mean, it's just super easy to get around on. And so, I want to explain something here. This property is being sold in gross and not by the acre. So, there's no survey of this property. You know, I took the deed descriptions back. I mean, there's a meets and bounds description, you know, all the way back to basically 1908, but there's no survey. So when you buy in gross and not by the acre, what the seller's saying is, hey, we're conveying everything we got. So, you know, you buy this and you get it surveyed, you end up with 268 acres. Great. You end up with 238 acres, what it's supposed to be, great. Or you might end up with 208 acres. You know, that's just kind of how it works. When you're selling something without a survey, they're just conveying it in gross and not by the acre. And that kind of language would be in your deed. But the sellers have kind of accounted for that in the price. Price on this is $3,000 an acre, which is dirt cheap for property of this quality on a per acre basis, something in this size range. That's extremely reasonable price. So, man, I just wish it was prettier out today. The sun's been in and out, but it looks like we got a big wad of clouds. You know, the wind's coming out of the west. There might be a break in it back there coming here. But just look at these woods. You got a little cedar tree right here. I can tell that little hunting blind's watching this little opening right here where my truck's parked. But let me show you down through the woods here. See, there's a path. There's a good road going down through here this way. I mean, and all this stuff I could get around on. Look at that nice path going down through there. You can see what the woods look like. Once again, you know, where we're at over here, you know, this part of the county doesn't grow super big timber or anything like that. But, you know, it's nice. There's a lot of white oak. It's little cedars and stuff in here. Just really pretty, really easy topo. And like I said, I don't know what kind of, I've gone through a couple different openings in the fence. I don't know if the whole perimeter of this place is fenced or not, but it looks like they might have little, it might be cross fence in some places, you know, but that's something we'll just have to figure out what exactly the fence situation is. Keenan Shanholtz here, 911 Blackburn Road, Purgitsville. Just wanted to stop here, and I actually did go in the old house here. I mean, it's full of junk and stuff. But there are some relics in there. I mean, I'm sure there's some buried treasure in there. There's like an old wood cook stove and, you know, old antique looking stuff like that. But I can't really take any pictures of it because everything's boarded up and it's dark in there. But I just wish the sun would come on. But anyways, I want to show you here. You know, right here's the fence row. There's another cow stand there. There's old fence right here. You can see the metal post here, and that's going to be the property line, you know, so the house is kind of right back against that side of it. And that's pretty well a straight line, you know, that runs across through here for a good ways. But I did want to stop here at the house and kind of look around. I mean, you know, you got a junk pile here in the front. The farmer said that some years ago, like a tornado or something went through here, which is pretty rare for around here because the mountains protect you from stuff like that in West Virginia. But it sucked the roof off the place, and that's the old roof right there. And there's actually a new roof on this thing, a newer roof on this thing, a metal roof. But everything seems solid walking around in there and everything. So, but you're going to have a little bit of cleanup to do here when you get to the place. Not a whole lot, I just saw this one pile of stuff right here, but we'll just keep going. Keenan Shanholtz here again, 911 Blackburn Road. Like I said, the cows are pretty friendly. Just took the video over there at the house, and I've kind of come over here, working my way over to the other end of the farm here, but I'll show you where I'm at. I'm right here, and looking at this patch of woods right over there, and I can see they got a fence strung up. Looks like that fence kind of comes right through here like this, I guess, to separate the cows. And like I said, there's some fencing and cross fencing in here. I'll just zoom in here so you can see. You see like where there's a pass through right there. I guess when they move them, you know, they move them over in that side over there, you know, but that's fenced off. And but like I said, the property goes up on this hump over here, and then when you get back in there, that's where it makes that dog leg that goes that way like that. But this is just so nice. It lays so good, you know, and I just want to make sure I drive this point home. So when I sell, or you see big properties come available, you know, 100 acres, 200 acres, 300 acres, whatever, it is paramount that you have electricity on the property. Because if you don't, you're pretty well screwed for the most part, because in West Virginia, nobody has to give you a right-of-way for electricity. So you could have a pole sitting over there on your neighbor, and if he don't want to give it to you, he don't have to give it to you, you know. So but here you got electric. You can see the poles coming down through there to the house, so you're good on electricity. And that electricity is going to be close. You know, I imagine if you want to build something, maybe like where I took my second video clip there or whatever, you know, there's not a bad spot on here to put something. But it is extremely important and vital that you have electricity on whatever you buy, and you got it here. And if you have to run it, even if you have it, and you have to run it any kind of distance, it's expensive. So, like right here, the electric situation is A+, for a property of this size. I'm making some new friends here today. Keenan Shanholtz here again, just kind of working our way out of the Ludwick farm here. So I'm at the entrance, and I'll show you. So this is Blackburn Road right here. It's a state maintained road. It's a gravel road. We're less than a mile off of Route 220 right here. So, you know, easy in, easy out of here. You got this nice big willow tree here by the gate and this pond and everything right here. But it doesn't go up Blackburn Road much further here, and I'll show you the map, but it's just a pretty view just even from the road, kind of like what you're looking at here. So whatever you build here, nobody's going to be able to see you from the road or anything like that. But this belongs to it over here as well. Now, there ain't no cows or anything like that over there. I don't think the farmer does anything. There's no pasture over on that side of the road. But let me show you. You can see Ludwick's farm. And this is where you come in at right here. I doubt there's any fish in that pond somewhere for the cows to drink. And there is water. I mean, so you got the pond here. And let me come back and show you the map here. So, I'm going to explain a couple things. So, we are right here. So, this is where you come in at, right here like this. And then you have this section here that's on the other side of Blackburn Road. Now, in terms of the water, if you look here, when you're coming in here, so 220's right here. This is Route 220. That's like kind of takes you from 50 to Moorefield. You come up in here, and you'll see there's like little pasture down here along. There's a seasonal stream down here that runs parallel with Blackburn Road. And you'll see, you know, you'll see little pasture and stuff, little clearing and stuff down here, right parallel with the road. But, and what you see right here is an electric line that's kind of coming through this section right here. But something else I want to point out. So, when you're coming up Blackburn Road, there's a road called Garnet Drive that's a right-of-way that cuts through this property. And the same folks own these tracks right in here. It's all the same family. And then when you come on up the road here just a piece, you'll see another driveway that takes off and goes to this piece back here. So there's a right-of-way that goes through here back to this piece here behind of you. So on this side of Blackburn Road, there's two right-of-ways that kind of go through the property. It's nothing intrusive. I mean, nothing messes with this side, the big pretty side of the road here. And what I would tell you is, you know, this property has all kinds of development potential. We're not seeing a lot of people do that these days. They just want to buy it for their own private playground or farm or whatever. But when you have county road frontage, it makes it easy to kind of like peel off and sell a section. So if you said, hey, I have no use for this ground over here. You know, you could make a tract there and sell it. You know, maybe this neighbor would want to buy it, or maybe that neighbor. You could just do a merger that way. But I don't want to say this side of the road over here is useless by any stretch of the imagination. But if you decided you didn't need that and you wanted to sell some to help, you know, help on the cost of what you pay for the place, that can certainly be done here. So, but anyways, it's a real pretty drive. So, sold all kinds of ground around here. There's not too many places in these counties that I don't know. But I had never been up Blackburn Road. And this road, you just go up through here and it hits a road called Ridge Road, which is kind of like the line between Hampshire and Mineral County. And it's a beautiful drive that way back out to Route 50, and you're almost in Burlington right there. And then, like I said, we're only about a mile out to 220 this way. But you're kind of right here where Hampshire, Hardy, and Mineral all kind of collide right here. We're in Hampshire County, but the Hardy County line's really close, and so is the Mineral County line. But once again, 911 Blackburn Road. I guess we'll call it Purgitsville. Look at that tree. Beautiful woods, 100% usable ground, unrestricted. 30 acres of pasture, electricity on the property. We're 15 minutes off of Quarter H, which is a 4-lane highway. You could be at Walmart in 15 minutes from here if you needed to be. But it's totally private, totally quiet. I think coming back in here, you go by one house that you can see from the road right where you turn in off of 220. So very private. These places don't grow on trees. They don't come available that often, you know. So as I said before in my first video, this property's been in this family since 1908. So people hang on to stuff like this. So if you're looking for, just like I said, you want a hobby farm, recreational property, this would make a wonderful legacy property. You know, someplace for your family. Maybe your family could be the one that owns this place for the next 100 years. But This one's worth the price of admission. Come check it out, and you will not be disappointed.